USS-9 is just the best gun in the current meta, good range, mobility, damage, everything. So if you just want to thin, then you can just use USS-9 like primarily and have some like 1-2 loadouts, for instance die reach and some range assault rifle for backup. But this is really all that you need. But I personally am really bored of USS-9 at this point. I just pull it out when I see that whatever loadout I'm using is just not enough in the lobby. Like my teammates are bad or enemies are just strong, sweaty, or I see sweaty names like before the match starts, so I usually just use USS-9 then, but otherwise just no. And the gunsmith, well, I'm using the Cygnac's earlier recommendation and I really like it. Oden, it would actually be even more powerful than the USS-9 because it can easily take them down with the huge damage, with the great damage that it provides. However, there are a few things that make it like not the peak meta, but I would say that we are kind of tight, like USS-9 is better but only due to the mobility thing situation. And so the mobility is slow, ADS time is slow, and another thing I've noticed is that even though you can 1, 2, 3 tap enemies depending on how much health they had and where you shot your bullets to their body, like which parts, but if I get like one shot, then enemy is shooting at me, I have recoil, gun goes up, I just don't finish enemy, I die. And even with the powerful damage Oden, it did happen a few times in like kind of critical moments. And so for that reason I chose to add toughness, and the situation actually improved because I can still manage the recoil hit flinch, and I can really just kill enemies easier, and it is a super strong weapon, and this would be the gunsmith which I prefer at the moment. Oh, and I strongly recommend the equalizer operator skill with Oden just because it has good mobility like sprinting time. So let's say you finished one OBG and have to reach the next one. If you just run with a melee, it is possible, but what if enemies are like in between the OBG area and you? Then you would have to switch to Oden and most likely you will just die during the switch. And meanwhile, if you just pop equalizer instead, then you can sprint, you can kill the enemies in your way and reach the OBG faster. And then you can just run around the new OBG, kill more enemies, but like the mobility is why I would say that it is strongly a really nice addition to this loadout. BP-50, the loadout is designed to just be protected from everything, dauntless against molotovs, cold-blooded against stealth choppers, shocker Cs, sentry guns, and so basically I'm using the huge mag variant alongside equalizer just to get the expensive score streaks more consistently. Usually how I do it is I kill some enemies with gun, I switch to equalizer, kill some more, and suddenly bam, Cluster Strike, Stealth Chopper both equipped, unlocked, and that is great. And yeah, I'm using big mag instead of the 30 rounds mag simply because it gives me just an easier gun to control. I can spam bullets, and I can spam bullets at enemies even from afar, because I will not run out of them before the enemy dies. 30 rounds mag, I tried it, I made a video earlier, and it's like good at close range, but the farther enemy is, or like the more the enemy moves, the faster you just lose your mag and have to reload. And I would not really recommend using the 30 round mag. And this one, it just has the great spam ability, like you can pre-fire an area where you expect an enemies would push, and then either you wasted some bullets but that's fine, or you killed some enemies because we suddenly appeared in the area and died. And I often just, like, I get into point and I start shooting doors, like the entry, even though I don't see any enemies, but I just start shooting because I expect that they might appear from there. And sometimes they do and they die. Now, die reach, it is basically like in between Oden and USS-9 in a sense that it does not have as good of a damage as Oden does, but it has better mobility than Oden. However, it is not as fast mobility-wise as USS-9, but it does have like an overall better range, and it is really a very good option for like a more versatile playstyle, where you don't want the slow Oden or just the fast USS-9, and you just want to be a bit more like a versatile towards aggressive, or even passive, and the gunsmith is pretty much just the old gunsmith. There are no changes that you would have to do. I just wanted to highlight that it is a very valid choice even in the current meta. XM4, basically more aggressive Type 19, not as good at range, but the extra aggression is helpful in the current meta setting. Now it does have more recoil at the moment, but next week we are getting the season update, the upcoming seasons like balance changes, and the recoil will be improved, so hopefully it will not just be as feelable. Even now it is like manageable but just annoying because other assault rifles, Growl, K24, M13, whatnot, even the meta like BP50 Oden, they don't have such recoil. And it shouldn't either. But regardless, so the gun, like I said, it is a very valid meta choice. I'm using takedown barrel even now, even though it is like recoily, but it is a really nice build. And I don't really have anything else to say about it, it's just a nice assault rifle. Now this loadout is different because it is a hybrid of a PDW loadout and FAJ loadout. Now PDW is basically a BP50 variant that is like faster mobility ADS time-wise, does not kill enemies as quickly, but the movement it will be very important in this loadout, because I mostly use it when I have to take down a stealth chopper, and that can be either if I'm not using cold-blooded on one of my main loadouts, and I keep on dying to it, or my teammates keep on dying to it, or we are all dying to it and no one is taking it down. And also with FEG you can take down VTOL, Chopper, Gunner, Goliath, etc, and you have a chance of stealing them because of the blue pack. Now the gunsmith is just a classic PDW gunsmith, not much to say about it. But the other thing that you will see, which I'm not too proud of using, is the reactor core and frag grenade instead of Molotov. But like the idea is that the time I wasted taking down a stealth chopper, enemies were actively playing OBG. So I need to have time that I could get like back. And with reactor core I can clean an entire OBG, give my teammates a chance to like retake it, or maybe I do that in the next one. Frag grenade instead of Molotov because I want to toss it into the OBG in hopes of killing enemies that are there. And Molotov I usually use for more of a purpose to protect the OBG that is already taken. So yeah, I need the frag, EMP just to take down a transform shield or a sentry gun, whatever is inside, just to make it easier for my teammates. And so yeah, so the loadout is a mix of a destruction of the air score and then being aggressive to just reclaim the OBG. And after that is done, I just switch to the main loadout, whatever I was using before. And like often I don't even need the reactor core, like let's say we are not still at the losing point, just we were annoyingly getting killed by the stealth chopper. So I just take it down and I don't wait like until I get the reactor core, I just switch to main loadout and continue doing what I was doing before. Type 19, one of my favorite assault rifles, Mythics in game, and I was quite bummed when I noticed that the previous range silencer variant was just too slow in the current meta. But when I tried tactical and monolithic suppressors, and both of them, they just make the gun not only usable but still good. And so this is my range loadout. Now, as you can see, I have cold-blooded, so I would not be bothered by all those artificial intelligence cost streaks, and Skulker for like better strafing, because it was nerfed earlier, and I just like it on this variant, on like a range assault rifle loadout variant. And yeah, so the gun is still good, but just don't use the silencer, that special one. Use either tactical or monolith. And finally, aggressive SMGs, so I chose to use Fennec. It is just my favorite, like I like the Mythic, I've been using it for a really long time. And however, if you don't like the Fennec, you can try CX9 or the Switchblade X9. They all essentially we have the same exact role, just CX9 and SX9 they are easier to control and have like better range. But frankly, all of them, all aggressive SMGs, we have the same problem that USS9 is just a better choice. But if you really want, you can use them. And for Fennec, the gunsmith has been the same for many seasons. And like I mentioned in that long paper meta review that I made earlier, that you really need 8 loadouts for specific purposes, so the remaining 3 are used for like testing and video making. And that would be